take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No!
What day is it? Monday? Oh, Monday!
Monday, Monday, so good to me.
Hey, it's Monday.
Medical
Monday.
Changes could be coming to Michigan's marijuana law. A new set of bills now being heard in Lansing.
Marijuana is not a drug.
And the bills would have major implications to small medical growers known as caregivers.
That's some heavy shit, man.
Small pot farmers in California say the state is not standing by its promise to protect.
Big companies were supposed to be limited, but some have stacked hundreds of licenses.
Stop hitting it so hard.
Created a cartel, essentially.
You have an industry allowing for businesses to operate like cartels.
But it's a Monday.
Harm has been done by the fact that we didn't legalize it back then.
Well, I don't know if there's any harm that's been done.
There was people getting arrested, there were people getting thrown in jail. I mean, that counts, doesn't it?
What kind of joint is this, man?
Smoking marijuana all in public. You would think that shit was legal. We the Pistons in the 8, 9, and 9. Oh, bad boy, bad boy.
just another
Medical.
And welcome to Medical Mondays, y'all. This is your host with the most, THC, in his motherfucking bloodstream, BERG. Of course, we got a returning panelist with us. We even got another one with us. We got Adam L. Brook, a.k.a. Mr. Hash Bash himself.
Hey, now.
We got a returning panelist, Jamie Lowell, joining us tonight. What up? We got our boy Al Witt joining us in official capacity this week. We got our boy KK on the road, but I'm sure he'll chime in here and there. So before we get into anything, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our awesome sponsors. That's so big. Huge shout out to Native Made 313, Michigan Turf Farms, Nugget Duction Extracts, Tiki Madman, SOB Labs, and Tree Street Packaging. Boom. Of course, here on Medical Mondays, we want to urge everybody out there to go get your medical marijuana card, yo. So one of the awesome people you can hit up is Detroit Certification Center, y'all. You can get at them at DetroitCertCenter.com, Detroit Cert Center on social media, as well as give them a call or text at 248-275-6707. There's plenty of other people you can hit up too. We got Vehicle City, we got GC3, we got Michael Dewey up north, we got Pure West out west, Michigan Weedsters, Dr. D, and the list goes on and on. So stop making those excuses. Go out and get your card, and
Cast your vote.
It's very, very beneficial to us in legal matters, as well as showing these politicians we're still here. So we got all that out of the way. I just want to remind everybody we got a give back event going on next month. And let me look it up real quick, get everything correct. And it's going to be May 19th, and it's going to be benefiting the Capuchin Soup Kitchen, as well as the First Step Women's Shelter. And be collecting non-perishable snack foods and juice boxes for the kids. And Native Made 313, as well as Nugget Abduction, is putting this on. Shout out to JSH Enterprise. And come through, bring some snack foods and drinks and everything for the kids who usually have usually have lunch and everything, but I think spring break's coming up, so they're going to be out of school, so they're going to need that stuff at home.
Right. What's the date again? I'm sorry, I missed it.
It's May 19th.
May 19th. All right.
Yep. 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Detroit. So come through, y'all. Get back to an awesome cause. Shout out to everybody in the chat already. If you could send the link out to everybody. Shout out to Native Made 313, Hash Bash Cash, Tis Me, Miss Rue, and the list goes on. There's a lot more people in here, but they're not talking right now. Shit. Here we go, y'all. So, Al, how you been, man? Thanks for joining us today.
Man, we've been good. We've been really good.
Hell yeah.
It's been wild, man. We do a lot now with Meds Cafe, repping these guys.
Yeah.
It's building quite the squad over here. We got Jamie. We just brought Josie onto the team.
Awesome.
She's gonna be doing a lot of hype and marketing, get a lot of cool stuff out there, you know. But it's a big thing. Is like we're just taking on the big corporate weed companies, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Little man's coming out here, and we're building the squad of the people that, like, you know, we out here. You know, like it's good to see that. It's good to be a part of that. You know, like I always chase true to the caregiver system. You know, like that shit's always where it's at. You know, and like our rights to be able to grow and shit like that. So it's like a huge thing. You know, and I always fight for that shit. You know, because that's what it's all brought us here. You know, so like I stay true to that for sure. So that's a good thing about joining with the Meds team and shit like that. So, but still grinding, doing the politic things, just out here educating people, man, and just trying to spread that positivity and knowledge, bro. That's how to make that change. You know what I'm saying? It's huge, bro. And then smoking
before we go any further,
weed.
let me ask you what you're going to be smoking on, and as well as everybody in here in the chat.
Man, I'll be dabbing on some rosin right now, some papaya rosin.
Oh, all right, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'm lighting up this original Z from Michigan Turf Farms, and I got some Holly Berry rolled up as well.
Yeah. I got some Gorilla cookies from Micro Bros.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They be throwing down.
How about you, Adam? What you smoking on or dabbing on?
I'm dabbing on some peaches.
Oh, I got the papaya. You got the peaches.
There you go.
That sounds
from another source. Really,
man.
Open it up. The room smells good. Melts your brain quick.
About you, Jamie? What you popping on tonight?
I have some flour called grape pie.
Grape pie? I've heard of it. I've never had it.
This particular version is not amazing, but the idea of it sounds pretty good. If there was a good version
Is there any grape terps in it? Because I love grape terps. So it's like it would be highly disappointing to me, is what you're saying.
This particular product, yeah, probably not somebody else's version of it. You know,
that's like the hazeless haze they serve at some coffee shops in Amsterdam called Caroline's Haze. There's no haze.
What we like. That's what we like here on Medical Mondays. Not that type of weed, just the honesty about that type of weed. So, thank you for being honest with us, Jamie. I'd ask SOB, but I don't think he's smoking right now. I'm sure he got something rolled up.
I'm dabbing actually out of my proxy. I'm hitting the guava tangy.
Oh, guava, motherfucking tangy. Oh, shit. Oh, shout out to Blue Widow Girl and Chelsea joining us in the chat. Detroit River Rat, what up, though? So, Al, one of the questions we always ask somebody is your first experience with cannabis, like, and your perception of it before and after, if there was a difference.
Man, the first time I smoked, actually, like, aside from like when I was younger, I accidentally like hit one of my uncle's bongs and shit. But like when I actually like
I
smoked
like
out with
that
the
accidentally.
I was like
You
eight, dog,
felt,
just
you
fucking around
tripped
too
and fucking
shit.
your mouth just
Oh shit, you know,
ran
like
around.
what's he hitting? I hit it, you know. But
Like,
no, we smoked some. It was called some Hawaiian Indica, fucking old school
I've
shit. It
heard
was like
girls
not that
doing
old.
that, but not guys.
Accidentally, I was like 8 years old, bro. My uncle be growing weed. He said they were tomato plants, but that was not
Yeah,
no tomato plant, dog.
those old tomato plants.
He was like, "Don't fuck with them dare kids," is what he always told me. But no, yeah, for sure. But the Hawaiian Indica was the first thing I smoked, and we got high as hell. I was with my cousin, and we asked him if he wanted to go swimming. He took like 30 seconds to say yeah, and we just was giggling, having a good old time like some kids. And I'm like, I was like, this
So
shit's
did you
awesome.
grow up with the stigma though? Like, was it, like, because I know when I was growing up, like the stigma was there, bro. I went to Catholic school for till 8th grade, so I didn't even fuck with weed, anything really, anything, like nothing.
Yeah, my mom and all them, those are Catholic and stuff, so they were like definitely like anti-weed. But all my uncles and shit, they all smoked weed, you know.
Yeah,
low key.
Yeah, come to find out, mine did too.
Right. They all smoked hella weed.
How old were you? How old would you say you were when you found out it existed? Not necessarily smoked it, but knew that like your uncles were into it, or there was this.
I had to have been like 8 to 10 years old, Adam.
Okay.
For sure. My dad died when I was 12 years old, and I knew what it was at that point in time because there was weed plants out there, and like we'd go out to the woods and plant these plants out there, and then we go water them every weekend because my parents were split up, so I go with my dad on weekends, you know. But him and my uncle were growing weed, so we were going back into the woods and watering these plants, you know. I thought it was kind of funny. We were watering tomato plants in the middle of fucking nowhere. But, you know, we just rolling with it. Yeah, it's wild, man.
Am Uncle still alive today?
My dad and my uncle are both dead. My dad died when I was 12 years old from alcohol. He died from cirrhosis of the liver. I actually watched him die. And thanks to I've never actually even tasted alcohol in my life. That's a crazy, weird fun fact about our Witt. I've never once tasted alcohol. Like, that's crazy.
That's good, man.
I'll be 36
You don't
years
need
old,
it.
You don't.
I mean, nobody really needs it. But.
My theory in life was my dad, he couldn't put that shit down. So my theory in life was if I never pick it up, I never have to put it down. And I was at the age of 12. I told myself I'd never touch it, you know, and I just never touched alcohol. But I probably saved a lot of my friends and family, you know, because everybody be drinking and getting fucked up. But I was always the sober one, guaranteed. But I always had the good weed. I always be smoking weed. Hella weed. Definitely. But yeah.
So what was your first dab experience like?
First dab experience, man. We used to get these packs from Cali back in like 2006, 2007, before it turned legal here. And
they're still coming.
They're still coming, bro. Yeah, we was getting like the Granddaddy Purse, the Bubba Kush. Like, we get like 5 packs at a time weekly. And then I'd get bricks and like quarter pound of bubble hash to match it, you know? Like, we had some fire Granddaddy Perp bubble hash. That was some full nut. That was like actually like legit, like a purple tinted hash. Like, that's when I fell in love with hash. And then like me and my buddies were smoking it and just hitting this bowl, just chiefing these bongs of hash for down. Next thing you know, like, it was the only time I've ever been this high besides Captain Kirk. I ended up just throwing up. I literally threw up all over myself after smoking that hash. I was like, that shit was crazy. The only time that ever happened is Captain Kirk when I was on probation. He hit me with one of those pineapple upside down cakes.
Yeah, I heard Captain Kirk got some people.
He made
I heard about that cheesecake.
Bro. Like,
got me with the cheesecake.
Adam keeps mentioning this cheesecake. You fucking
Captain cheesecake. Ooh,
he got me on.
He had that cheesecake at Third Coast early on, man. That was definitely the original.
The key lime cheesecake.
Yeah.
Key lime,
yeah,
and
that
it's
shit
not
ain't no
cheesecake.
joke.
It's the saucy bars on it. And I literally licked the plate of the sauce, and he put way too much sauce on mine, but I didn't know. And then we go out for Boston George's birthday party. And I'm almost like nodding out at the table. And I come home. I got driven back home by a blind girl. And she couldn't see at night. And where I was staying, I literally opened the door and puked up like an $80 meal.
Damn.
Just yeah. Just from
Yeah,
that.
you got to have it again, man. Bonus.
I'll never have his cheesecake for the rest of my life.
That shit's fire though, Adam.
I
You
know.
gotta rebuttal yourself.
Shit,
yeah. Captain Kirk, the highest man on the planet. That's what I said. He
well, it's that syrup, man. You want that that.
I mean, I've heard the same shit about Native Maid's edibles too.
Oh,
just the regular edibles.
Get you, bro.
Like, motherfuckers don't. They just don't know. I'm like, bro, don't eat more than half. Like, see how it treats you. See how it treats you.
I know when on my way home to start eating half of the pound cake, so that I can get home safely, know where I'm at, get in the house, and from there I generally eat the other half, and we're off to the races.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was on probation though, so I like got out of jail. They was hounding me like crazy just because of everything. So like I literally didn't smoke weed. I was supposed to have like hadn't smoked weed since I was like 15. And I was probably like 10 months without weed.
And you're talking about the related
pineapple upside down cake. Yeah. Captain hooked me up with that. And it was him and Brad and Steve were there. I stopped at his house when I was passing through for work one day. And he was like, go eat this thing. And I ate it. It was the best fucking pineapple upside down cake I ever had. And then luckily I had my buddy with us, and I was driving down I-75. I had to pull over. I was throwing up all over myself. I was trying to find my wallet. It was in my hand. Like, it was a whole situation, dog. But yeah, since then I've smashed a bunch of his edibles just to like rebuttal myself. Like, I got this, bro. Like, that was me not smoking no weed. I don't admit that very much, though.
Stuff he makes for himself a little bit different than for the masses, kind of.
Native made me a big pineapple upside down cake for my birthday one year, and I had some people over, and I warned them, man, motherfuckers just don't listen to me. They were all fucking slumped all over my fucking basement, man. I'm like waking them up, like, you gotta go, man. This ain't no fucking sleepover, bro. Like, I was just glad nobody was throwing up everywhere, Like,
right.
They were feeling good, man. They were feeling good. So yeah, so you live and you're a councilman in the city of Gaylord. Is it a city or a town?
The city of Gaylord, yeah,
the city of Gaylord. So you grew up there?
Yeah, born and raised there. Yep.
Hell yeah. So how was it living there, growing up?
I mean, it's just your small town America, Everybody knows everybody. There's like 3,700 people in the city of Gaylord. There's like 20,000 in the county, so it's a small community. But it's good though. Going through something like that, like, all right, we got raided 3 times, you know what I mean? During all that shit, like, that's crazy to think about. Like,
and now you're a councilman.
Yeah, man. And I won that shit while on felony probation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild.
So that's like wild. On 420.
Why did you decide to run?
And then he got his some friends to come in to be on council with him too, man. And
yeah.
Really
I decided to run because I was on it was 420, Adam. And I wasn't able to smoke weed on felony probation like that because they're being hoes about it. So the city clerk needed signatures done, and she was like, Al, you should run for city council too. And I was like, no shit, I can do this. So I went and got her signatures and my signatures on 420. You know what I mean? And then I had a retired police officer that was going against me. the head of EMS's wife, another council member that been on the council for 22 years. And they all kind of like banded up against me and tried bashing on me because of the felony and the jail shit and the raids and the police and I'm a criminal and all that shit. And I didn't actually do anything. Like, these people spent a bunch of money on this shit. Like, really was degrading me. Actually, one of the guys, the EMS wife and husband, has breakfast with my mom and my aunt every morning and didn't realize that like that was my mom, you know. And they was like talking shit about me. And like my aunt, my mom, my uncle, they all just kind of bit their tongue on it, you know. And then I ended up crushing his wife in the election. And then afterwards, they finally told him like, "Yo, that's my son." And they were like, "What the fuck?"
Damn, you're not a player. You just crush a lot. Damn.
Yeah. Well, in a landslide, Barry, think of it like this. So 10% of the people turn out for an election, right? Normally, right? On a numbers aspect. So there was like 347 people that turned out for the election. And out of those 347, 222 voted for it. That's a landslide in a political game.
Damn. Yeah, that's kind of a landslide.
Yeah. With 4 candidates.
Wow.
That's beast mode, bro.
That's
you know
crazy.
what I'm saying? That shit don't happen. Like, yeah. But yeah.
And have you been elected? Wow, you've only been elected once?
Twice.
Okay, so the second, what were your numbers like?
I got ran. Nobody ran against me.
Nobody ran against you. Imagine
it was an
that.
unopposed run. Yeah, nobody wanted none.
Wow.
But the other people I put into office, I got Bob Wilson into office. Jordan Ari, he won by a landslide as well. We got the mayor in office. We replaced the prosecutor, the county prosecutor. We got Judge Hunter in office in Gaylord. And then I got 3 county commissioners on the county commissioner board as well.
Wow.
Right. Wow. Changing fucking the community, the whole world. You know how it changes.
I've been saying for years that more of us need to public office, and your history doesn't matter. They can't generally stop you from running for public office.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to our boy Richard Clement, Mr. Free the Weed. He always says you can, even like the simplest way you could get into any office is through the
school board.
Takes
at least
vote.
Yeah.
Or delegate.
So what
not office, but to
no, I mean, just to get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
So one of the tricks to getting everybody else that we've gotten into the office so far, like the success that I kind of found out in it, is looking at the fact that only 10% of the people vote. And when you have multiple candidates on a ballot and only a small percentage of those people turn out, you bring out your own Democrat. So you go get the people that don't vote. You go register people to vote. And when you add that into the system, it throws their whole fucking algorithm off.
Yeah,
and that's how you overturn things. You see what I'm saying? And that's exactly how all those numbers have. It's a numbers thing. It's a numbers game. Like on election day to get the other people in office, I was out there knocking on doors, hooking people up with rides, like shoveling driveways, with snowing out. Like we're out here doing things. Like
it
isn't just throwing a yard sign up. We're out here grinding, dog. Like, we're here for you guys. That's what we're here for, you know?
Right.
And we stand on that, you know? Like one of the biggest things I want to go after right now is MERS. You ever heard of MERS? It's the Michigan Economical Retirement System. And they're fucking the community. They're literally the biggest Ponzi scheme. And like, I feel like there should be a class action lawsuit against these motherfuckers. Because it's not just like the city again. It's every single community that is infected. And that's like the company that comes in and like takes your funding and invests it to try to make you money. And like all of their projections have been wrong. Like they cost hundreds of millions.
Yeah, that's how so
many
many people lose their fucking pensions and everything.
Well, it collapses municipalities because if you drop below 60%, the state comes in and takes over all your finances, and then you have no control what you can do in your own community.
Right.
That's
a fucked up thing, and people are crippled right now.
That's what happened.
You know?
Detroit.
Yeah,
I mean that's what happened to Flint. Like,
right.
We all know what.
So like one of the things that's like huge, like the recreational laws with like that excess tax money coming back into communities. That's literally saving fucking communities that are like literally on the verge of bankruptcy, bro. Like it's crazy to think about that. Like when I got on the council, there was like $120,000 in the general fund, and now we got like over like 1.2 million, and that's all from cannabis. Like that's fucking huge numbers when you look at it like that.
Yeah, compared to
You get some of that from your local
businesses.
licensing fees too.
Yeah, but a lot of that's just your excise tax money. A lot of it, Jamie, and
right, yeah.
so like we took some of that money and we paid off our fire and EMS millage with it. So that lowers the taxpayers' money in our entire community. That's fucking huge.
That's
and it
awesome,
gives them
man.
protection. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
definitely
Should be a model for other other cities to use it wisely. You know,
right? Yeah, that's a huge thing.
Hey, so
that makes me feel good about going to jail and doing all that shit and seeing it. Like at the end of the day, like if I don't make nothing off, it doesn't matter. Like look at the changes that are happening. Look at around us that's happening. Look at how it makes your community better and cleans things up. Like that's the real shit.
I mean, that's an amazing response to the shit that you had to go through. But that story itself, not everybody, you know, kind of knows how Gaylord was somewhat an oasis up north, you know, allowing some activity, you know, somewhat early on, and but then
Yeah,
the
that was going to be one of
multi-jurisdictional
my
task
questions.
forces.
Like, how
Yeah,
was
well,
your
I'm sure.
city?
Yeah.
Like growing
Dispensaries
up,
were there
was
for
your city like, you know, anti-weed, or was it?
No, there was
pretty much.
There was 8 dispensaries for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about like before it was legalized, like growing
Well, yeah,
up
don't know.
there.
That's
Like,
so. Yeah, there was good activity up there for a while until the multi-jurisdictional task forces decided to do their thing, and that Al got caught up in. So I don't want to like pave the story for him, but man, that's an intense thing that he had to go through, and that's what makes his response and what he did so much, you know, more kind of amazing. But go ahead, Al.
I fucking I was listening right there. Sorry, Jimmy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No problem. Yeah.
But no, yeah, that's just like I was just saying, like seeing like what it's doing back for the community and like things like that, and like the lives that it impacts that way. You know what I'm saying? Like that really seeing it from that kind of standpoint. So like before, like getting on a council and understanding things, like it was just like, you know, fuck this, fuck that, and like not understanding like how shit works, and then like being onto the council and seeing like the way communities do work, and if it's structured right and you put the right people into the things, you can make these communities thrive, and you can do it in the right way and a positive impact. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's really cool to see that. Like I'm saying, like how we lowered all the taxpayers' money. So it's like, yeah, I went to jail. This bullshit happened to me. My life got thrown like fucked all up and crazy. But like at the end of the day, look how many positive things are gonna happen at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the biggest thing to me. Like I could die tomorrow and know that that is like that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? We're making changes and changing people through knowledge. And like, so like one of my biggest haters on the city council was Vic Olette. He was a retired state police officer. And the man said if I won the election, he's going to move out of town and like hated on me. He's on city council with us. And he's actually one of my biggest advocates for me now. Like that man stands up for cannabis and does everything. His wife uses gummies and stuff now. Just it was the whole changing. And that's somebody who like worked his entire life arresting people, hated weed, like. And now I got this man that's my number one fan, and he went from like the biggest hater to the number one fan, and that's just like crazy what you can do just through educating people because they were trained by lies. You know what I'm saying? It's not their fault. Like they just don't fucking know better. So it's like it's cool to see it on that aspect too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It's deep, bro.
What was that? What was that cop's name that was on that lawyer's podcast? He would come on. He was a ex
Steve Miller.
policeman. Is that what
Steve
his
Miller?
name
Yeah.
was?
Yeah, he was a former police officer.
He's a detective in Canton. Yeah.
Yeah, he actually was involved in the Perry Bullard case, which
He knows the truth.
he knows the truth. And Perry Bullard was the House representative that smoked a joint at the second hash bash and ended up on the front page of the paper, which then caused the legislature to want to censure him and eventually censure him.
Gotta love kids.
That was awesome.
Yeah, this one's off his nuts.
Yeah. I mean, Perry Bullard is who he's talking about, who
But yeah,
passed away. Yeah.
No, I've seen that former detective on the show a couple times when I was watching it before. Does that what's that show called? Plant Green Trees?
Planet Green.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Does he still do that?
I don't believe so.
Not for a while. Not for like a couple of years now, I think.
It was an in-studio type show, so.
It started really early on, man. It was.
I went there once.
It was one of the few that started before this show, actually. This was a very, very long running show, and it was like one of the few that kind of got going before then. They used to do it in Michael's basement, just audio using the phone. It was like pretty primitive and
no studio, right?
I mean, we had a whole studio, but we were still just audio. It wasn't until we got out of Tap Detroit that we started doing YouTube. We were like forced into it. But here we are, y'all.
Anyway, that whole intensity of series of events in Gaylor that Al got caught up in with raids and business at home, going to court. Josh, of course, also for meds, was his lawyer to that process.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of like story, if you want to get into that, man, I think, people should know some details about that.
Yeah, that's the craziest part is how the world works, bro. So like you gotta think like all this shit happened in Gaylor, which is coming up on 9 years, May 27th. 9 years. So next year will be the 10-year anniversary on it. But like all that shit happens. I meet Josh to become the attorney, you know what I'm saying? And then and that's from the baby briefcase. But and then everything goes through. We end up getting everything with the recreational going. And then my cousin ends up opening up Meds Cafe in Rogers City, Michigan, And it's kind of crazy to think. And then he hit me up one day and was asking for a good weed attorney. And well, obviously I'm going to say Josh Tober because the man went and fought for my life. You know what I mean? And we put up a battle. We went to war. Like this is a guy. Like, and I don't know any more other attorney that's like, but so it's just crazy to think about that. So it's like, so here we got like this crazy thing that happens in my life. And then you got my cousin who's now getting a business out of it. And then I pair him up as now the attorney that fought my case. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing that's what I'm saying, like the squad that we're building on Mets Cafes is crazy. And like the whole full circle thing, And then having Jamie on the team. And then Jamie was working with them. And then they brought me onto the team. And it's wild. And now we got Josie coming on. And it's just like it's really cool to see that. You know what I'm saying? The full circle on it. And then like hopefully we'll be open up in Gaylord next year on top of it. Like, that's just huge, you know what I mean? But it's really cool to see that shit and like just the crazy backside on that, how it all like kind of plays into each other. You know what I mean? Like it's destiny. Like we're almost supposed to do this. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and Josh did. I mean, his hands were kind of tied with how the laws are working and the things he had to do, but he did a great job. They did knock out a couple, but still got convicted on one and had to serve the time for it.
2 out of 3 charges. Man. Yeah, on a rigged system, on the fucking actually did it. Like what the fuck? It's crazy at the end of the day. But yeah, Oliver ate the weed in a fucking pot, bro. That's what it comes down to.
Crazy.
After the raids.
And I'm a.
Go ahead, sorry.
So yeah, they raided us 3 different times. The one time they raided us, we were hosting a benefit dinner for the new prosecutor that we had running. So we did a benefit dinner to raise funds for his campaign. So we're literally at the benefit dinner while the police are raiding the store. Like, so really, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up winning that campaign, but like, yeah, it's fucking nuts, man.
It was weird. You guys went on a jury nullification kind of educational tour too for a while.
Yeah, we were funding the newspapers and definitely heavy to hit it heavy on the jury nullification, educating the public on it. Like what's the best you could do? Freedom of information, freedom of speech. Badass. It's crazy.
Yeah,
when you think about
a lot of stuff, man.
It is. It's surreal. The shit that we were doing. I went and knocked on the prosecutor's door. So we put an ordinance in place, Barry, before they could prosecute me. So the MI legalized thing was going on. I was out of jail. I was on parole or fucking bond or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And prior petitioning, doing the my legalized thing, we wrote an ordinance in the city of Gaylord and did a petition drive for that. And I purposely turned in twice the amount of signatures than the people that turned out to vote for the mayor. So when they tried to turn us down on it, I could be with all due respect, sir, more than twice the amount of people signed this and voted for you. The people spoke, my friend. And it actually, when I think, from my understanding, one of the first city ordinance to be passed without being put on a ballot. It just got passed by the city council by just anonymously, which is pretty fucking crazy to think about. But we did that, and the time that it took them to prosecute. So the ordinance went into effect the day my trial started. And the ordinance we had kind of outlined what we have for the CRA. And this was in 2016. Kind of crazy to think about, Like,
definitely.
Right. So that petition that we're talking about, I was out knocking on doors on bond. And because you have the list of registered voters, you kind of know where everybody lives. So we mapped it out, and I went around to the prosecutor that was prosecuting me and knocked on all of his neighbors' doors and had them sign my petition. And then nobody would go knock on his door. Like, people out there doing it were like, "Oh, we ain't doing that." I was like, "Oh, so send the guy on bond that's going to war with the guy, right?" So I went knock on his door. Fuck it, right? Why not? And dude, I shit you not, his daughter and wife signed that fucking petition. No cap, bro.
Remember, I got that guy that was running for prosecutor to sign the "Am I Legalized" petition, but he kind of turned out to be a dick himself, though, didn't he?
Well, I mean, not really. I mean, you got to think it out of like a prosecutor standpoint, Jamie. How many prosecutors in the state of Michigan would write letters to all your dispensary owners and tell them, "Hey, look, like the cops are about to come for you. Like,
that's
it's
true.
above my head." You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And when you throw that in your face and slap them on it, I mean, the guys only can do so much at the end of the day.
All right. Well, probably some good perspective there. I just remember some continued like prosecutions that people bitched about and stuff, and that was the guy that replaced the other guy. Right?
I'm not saying it was perfect, but yeah.
No, I'm sure. I understand what you're saying. There's only one LE7.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, at the end of that shit's crazy, bro. That shit doesn't happen. It's wild.
No, there's a lot of stuff to that was pretty intense. The rally, that woman, that lawyer from down south came up here.
Yeah, Sarah Swain from Kansas.
Yeah, she was cool.
Yeah, she fought some like huge like federal like Supreme Court cases and won and shit. Like, she was a gangster. They were gonna let her co-counsel. That was hilarious, actually, in the trial. So she came in and like we asked her to be a co-counsel with Josh, and at first they were like, yeah. And then they went back into chambers and looked her up. And they're like, "No, you can't have her here." Like, trial attorney. Like, what are you doing? Like,
no,
ain't that fucked up? Some corrupt shit, bro. The prosecutor was making up his own laws in the thing. Like, oh man, it was a shit show. It was a circus show, Berg. I wish you could have seen the shit that was happening in that court. You know what I mean? Like, I think it was Steve Green, the bailiff, had like an anti-marijuana keychain on it, and like, he's like, "Oh, it smells like marijuana in here." And Steve Green looks at this bailiff and says, "Sorry, pedophiles don't have a smell."
Oh,
like, damn, bro. Like, that's fucking. It was dope. Yeah. We had the peaceful protest and shit. Turn that shit right back on. I had a priest start off a protest.
You know, Ben Horner was actually kind of helpful through some of those things. As much criticism as he gets, he was helpful to organizing some stuff and getting some people up there for the court stuff, and he did some supportive stuff there.
Very much so. He helped write that ordinance. That's crazy.
There you go. Yeah, I was up there for the court stuff. I came up as I was working with Asa a lot after the first raids and did some of the interviews and stuff like that.
He paid the smoking fee at the hotel because we had a private hotel break for my trial. It's a private resort up in Gaylord, and it was closed during the week. So my buddy ran the hotel, so I had access. So they gave us this entire fucking resort, and we had like, I don't know, 180 fucking people there protesting for the court case and shit. And we'd all go there and smoke weed after. So the resort ended up charging us like a $3,000 smoking fee. It was like a mini hash bash, Adam. It was like
I
something
remember
like
everybody
hash
on
bash
the
cup
balconies though.
in the
Not
Antigua Club. What was that?
Maybe some people were in their rooms doing it, but I
$3,000.
remember people out on the balconies more than anything.
That's actually how Aurora got made. Because Ben and Cece hooked up there, and then they had the baby. That's wild enough, right?
Tim Beck came up for one of those.
Yeah, Tim was there.
Yeah, I was there for a few of those events, those things.
Yeah, you were. The protest. You were there for the first protest too.
I was there for the protest. I came up after the first raid too, and as Asa, and did one of
the raid response with you and Charmy and everybody.
Yeah.
Did
that, and then
we
also
rallied
for
together.
the court.
Everybody was supposed to take this shit to trial during like the strength and numbers thing, and then like the first day of court, like everybody walked in there, and like we were all outside the court case and was like, we're gonna fucking fight this shit, and everybody caught the plea. And I was like, fuck this shit. This is bullshit. Like, we're fighting this. Like, yeah. Actually, my police statement's kind of funny, too, because the narcotics officer is like, yeah, you know, they do the raids. They take all your shit. You're getting raided. And he's like, Mr. Witt, can I have an interview with you? And I was like, yeah, you know. He gets all like, excited and shit. And he goes out to his truck, gets his fucking tape recorder thing, got his little notepad, his little table in front of the dispensary. Pulls us up there, sits her down. He's like, all right, Mr. Witt, reads my Miranda rights for the interview. And he says, you have the right to an attorney. Would you like one? And I was like, yeah. Knowing everything's over at that point in time, right? And the fucking cop looks at me. And he's like, do you have an attorney? And I was like, no. I was like, actually, I got 5. Why don't you pick one? And he literally takes the fucking voice recorder and threw it across the dispensary, walks outside, comes back in. He's like, I'm not going to be a dick, but I'm taking your car. Like, I don't know. It was just
I'm not going to be a dick.
That sounds pretty directly contradictory.
Like a dick move.
Yeah, like,
I'm not being a dick, but I'm out of anger taking your car.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, that was the end, like towards the end, right before the civil asset forfeiture laws were changing too. So I was like, you would see like there'd be like a fucking tablet sitting on the counter versus an iPad. They're gonna take the iPad because it's worth more money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like fucked up shit like that, dude. And then like when they came in, it's not like where's the weed at? It's where's your fucking money at?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. So you're here for weed. You clean up the like. Why are you searching for money? Like that's the only thing you people wanted was assets and money. That's all they wanted.
Well,
when you look at the numbers, that was like the biggest number the narcotics team had for like years of revenue is when they raided all the dispensaries.
And that was the local Gaylord police?
That was STAIN. It's a Straits Area Narcotics Enforcement Team, which is a self-funded task force through the Michigan State Police. Okay, so it was state police. Yeah.
Well, and the feds are involved potentially too in those things.
And it wasn't the local Gaylord Police Department that started this.
No. It was STAIN.
Yeah, well, they're doing their job.
The multi-jurisdictional task force, yeah. But they're motivated, as he's saying, by that revenue.
Asset forfeiture.
Yeah, they're a self-funded task force, so like all of them are. So they run off of the stuff that they can seize and take.
Yeah, I mean, you see how those abuses are pretty simple. When you get to benefit from the shit that you take, you start, allowing yourself to take more and more shit.
I assume with our new law that requires conviction that their numbers have dwindled.
Oh,
not just their
depreciated a lot. So like, and
then there was minimum amounts and stuff like that preceded that slowed it down and stuff. Go ahead, Al. I'm sorry.
And it's kind of dwindling itself down because of that. So like that narcotics team that we're talking about, they used to operate in like 10 different counties, and now they're down to like 3 because there's no funding for it.
Right.
You know,
I was raided by the Oakland County Narcotics Enforcement Team, and they didn't have a Royal Oak officer on their team because Royal Oak didn't want to pay for that.
Right.
They wanted to keep their guy home working in the city. And this came through a guy from Mount Clemens who thought he had some information about me that I might say from a very famous activist. Who happens to be in jail at the moment, so I'm not saying much. But if you
I remember when fucking back in the day, and before it was all legal and everything, they had Drano. It was like downriver narcotics officers. And it was like 3 cities all banded together, just like they didn't give a fuck.
Nope.
Yeah.
And it was all about season property.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cashing out. Cashing out
money. And
some of the raids in
money and
Washtenaw came from an extension of an investigation that started with the Wayne Task Force and then dribbled into the county next during their course of their investigation.
Right.
Bunch of horse shit went on. A bunch of cops in Detroit got nailed for just basically banding together and ripping people off, man.
Coming out.
Yeah. No, that's why they disbanded fucking G Squad, Gang Squad.
Right.
We call it G Squad. But they were the fucking burgundy cards fucking driving around unmarked with fucking plainclothes officers just hop out on you and don't give a fuck. Run your pockets, fucking. I remember it was before I even smoked weed or anything, but I was walking with fucking 4 of my friends. Anybody, what was it? Like gang activity was anybody walking in a group more than 3 people.
3
So there was 5 of us. So they all fucking stretched us. Fucking, they ended up finding my boy had cigarettes. He was underage and he had a roach in it. He just looks at the roach and then he like shoves the whole pack in my friend's face. And he's like, how the fuck am I supposed to get high off of this? And he made us all do fucking push-ups. And it was like in 2 foot of fucking snow, bro.
The fuck?
Yeah, man. It was
right.
I was just glad I wasn't getting my fucking ass
Police
beat.
state.
And they didn't get fucked, bro. A couple of my friends were left for dead by DPD, bro. Shit's horrible.
Yeah. No joke.
But a lot
so
of
out of everything, at the end of the day, Berg, so I get ready to do all this bullshit, go to jail, end up winning a city council seat. And when I won the election, I was like, fuck, what city council people do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a fucking felon drug dealer my whole life. I didn't think I would this shit.
Now what the fuck do I gotta do?
Yeah, shit. You know?
And you won an award while you were in jail, and they really accommodated you to like be able to accept
I won
it.
Activist of the Year. Yeah. Yeah, the COs let me out of the cell and put me in a private room and let me use the phone to call out to accept awards from Josh while sitting in a jail cell.
That's cool.
Like, that's just wild, right? But the city council seat that I won, so you get different positions for the seats and wards that you win, and the specific seat that I won put me in charge of the police budget. So it's like, after being raided 3 times by these guys, and they take over a couple hundred G's from you and try to destroy your life, I ended up controlling their budget. It's just wild to think about how the tables can turn,
Has their attitude changed?
Absolutely. It's like that same narcotics team. So they operate in our community still. So if they ever want to do anything, they have to come and talk to me. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just a wild thing to think about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Poetic justice.
Right. And then so that same prosecutor that put me in jail, and then we beat an election, he ended up getting back into re-election, and then being on city council, I became part of the county liaison, so I have to go back to the county commissioners and report back to the city. So now I sit on a panel next to the prosecutor and the sheriff. You know what I'm saying? It's surreal, and then the county commissioners are fucking things up, and then me and the prosecutor had to work together now to save the fucking county on some bullshit that they were trying to do. You know what I mean? It's
Tell me
fucking
you
weird,
go in
man.
loud.
What?
Tell me you go sit between those people and you're loud.
I love it, Adam. I'm proud too. I got the nug chilling, man. We fucking.
I want them to
like
know
this,
that you
bro.
smoked weed before you came to the meeting. That's all.
Oh yeah, always. You know me.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Adam. Until I die, my friend. I do that shit for you.
Start making it a requirement.
Dude, I showed up to city council when they opted out, and I brought 2.5 ounces of weed in a jar, and I set it on my city council desk in the middle of the meeting with the prosecutor, the narcotics team, the chief of police, like everybody. Set that motherfucker on there. I was like, that's what you guys are afraid of. But they were trying to violate the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act by saying we couldn't have our marijuana visible. And that's a crock of shit. You're violating every patient's constitutional right. You cannot do that.
Right.
I was like, we can have our cannabis in plain sight all day long. I just can't fire that joint up in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And I could sit here and roll joints all day and give them to everybody in this room that's over 21.
I was going to ask you, did you roll one up?
Man, I just set that joint. I weighed out. I put 1 gram less than 2.5 ounces, and I had my card in my pocket because this is a ballsy thing to be busted out, dog, in city chambers, bro. Like, I never thought I'd ever see this in my life.
No, that's crazy.
Right.
So growing up in Gaylord, did you ever think you were gonna be doing what you're doing? Like,
nah, bro. Hell no. I mean, I started selling packs when I was like 15. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a driver's license. We was running down to Saginaw and picking up packs and bringing them back and selling them at the schools. You know, the principal one time said she wasn't gonna let me graduate because she knows I sell weed in her school, but she couldn't catch me.
Wow.
We weigh up all the shit and I throw it up in the locker upstairs in the bathroom. And they run the dogs to the schools and never find anything. They search me, never find anything. Like, we run around, collect the money, grab the bags, drop them off. People go to lunch, smoke, get caught. They snitch on you. I ain't got shit. Like, yeah.
Free the weed, man. Free the weed.
We had a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was 15. It's crazy to think about.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
I just they couldn't catch it.
Right. Too smart. I ain't dumb. Too smart, bro. I knew when I got caught it was gonna be big. I thought it would be bigger than an eighth of weed, but it turned out to be bigger than what I could have imagined.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. You know, and it took me to the darkest places in my life to bring me to some of the best places. So it's like, it's a you said that poetic justice, Adam.
Yeah.
You know, all from a motherfucking plane.
Yes. Man.
Growing tomato plants when I was a little kid, didn't even know it.
Death of, man. They're scared to death of this thing.
Right. Dude, when I pulled that jar out of city council,
like straight up,
it.
I remember smelling weed at a very young age. I just didn't know what that smell was until later on.
Right.
And I'm like walking down the street with one of my friends who obviously smoked weed already, you know, like he's like, oh man, you smell that? That's some good weed. Like somebody's smoking some weed. I was like, man, that smells like my uncle's house. Oh,
right.
Shit. Uncle Jimmy had the stash the whole time.
I just thought that's how my uncle smelled.
Yeah.
I never smoked in front of my in front of any of my children, but my two oldest children. I never smoked in front of them. I had my own room in the house. It didn't have a door, but it connected through a kitchen. Yeah. So, you know, it was cool. They never started smoking. And I figured, you know, one day they're going to go to school, and so they were both athletes, and someone would say, hey man, we're going to get high. Come with us. And they'd be like, no, I'll come hang out, but I ain't going to puff on that. And they'd realize that that was the same smell that they smelled in their house, because their house stunk because I smoked in it.
Yeah. It wasn't everywhere in my uncle's house. It was just the basement.
right.
The basement was straight up like fucking booming.
A lot of tomato plants in there, man.
Yeah.
Like, damn. Yeah. So another little crazy thing. I don't know if you heard about the hailstorm down here in I don't even know where the fuck I'm at right now. Onekama.
What?
Dude, there was this crazy ass hailstorm in Onekama.
He's right outside of Manistee.
Yeah.
Bro, check this out. So this is the Airbnb I'm in right now, right? Like, I wonder if I can flip this thing around. See, this shit's all boarded up. Right? Fucking, dude, the craziest hailstorm, dude. Totaled the car that I got outside. Blew all the windows out of it. Dude, it was throwing golf balls like
this was
hail,
today?
bro. This was 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Nuts, bro. Nuts. Yeah, I got a brand new car. It's total. Dumb.
There you go.
Wow, it's an act of God.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I said. That's exactly.
No, I mean that's what they call it, right?
Bro, I pulled up to this place. It was raining. I grabbed my MacBook and the Puffco, and I opened the door, and all of a sudden, there, tink, 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 and the next thing you know, all hell breaks loose. Windows are getting blown out. Like, there was a Beamer outside. It looks like you got shot with a 50 cal. Like, just like blowed out. Like, I don't even know. It's crazy.
Truck that was all fucked up.
Yeah.
I remember driving on the freeway once. It started hailing, and it wasn't big hail, but it was fucking me up. I instantly got off the fucking freeway and just sat there. I'd rather have it fall on me than to drive into that shit. Like,
yeah, hell yeah.
Me personally.
And then Gaylor got hit with that tornado 2 years ago. That was crazy.
Yeah. Get some federal funds for that?
Damn, all kinds of shit.
No, actually, no, Adam. No.
Well, I thought that was always available to communities.
Nah. We got a little bit of like a refundment stuff for like grants and stuff like the fire and like all the response people and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, no.
You don't get nothing.
Yeah, no, to get a FEMA claim back on anything like that, you gotta have I think it was like 70 or 80 million dollars in damage or something crazy like that before they come look at it. It's crazy to think about. And with the town cleaning everything up, So that was a cool our the community's coming together and should talk about that. It would have been like $2 million to clean up the debris. All our DPW and community came together, worked a couple overtime weekends and shit, and we did it all ourselves. Bought some wood chippers and saved the community $1.3 million, something crazy like that.
And now have some wood chippers.
Yeah, and free mulch for the whole town. Clean up your gardens, make the yard look good.
Right. That's brilliant.
It's dope, bro. It's dope, But cannabis is a beautiful thing, my friend. Adam, what do you think the craziest thing you've done in life?
Oh, I can't talk about that publicly.
This is medical.
I'd be surprised if that could be described like in this forum.
The most crazy weed thing you've done. What's the craziest weed story you got, Adam?
All right.
What's the craziest place you smoked weed at? I lit up a joint at the Michigan State Police Club during a protest in front of Don Bailey.
Oh, but to me, none of that. I mean, I've smoked joints in meetings that I wasn't supposed to, and you fire up the joint, you take 2 puffs, and you walk out the door.
Yeah.
They don't do anything about that.
You just did that in the last few days.
Yeah.
Remember Don Kojmiter? Don Kojmiter, I remember he ran up into his court case with ounces of weed into the courthouse, bro. Just fucking walking around showing it off.
That's
wild,
But yeah, I mean, I had weed in the U.S. Senate, and
that's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit I'm talking about, Adam.
I had a bag in my pocket, and I was on a friend of mine who worked for a senator, so I got the special tour. And he's like, "Go sit up in the chair if you want. Go sit up in the chair." I'm thinking I should go roll a joint on the damn fucking desk up there. But I didn't.
Right.
I rolled it in the bathroom.
I knew you had something crazy.
But I mean, there's been all kinds of wild things. I got pulled over with John Sinclair once.
Oh my God. I so wish I could have been there for that.
Shit, it was almost in your neighborhood. We had just a gig and we had to take an east-west highway to a north-south highway, which would eventually take us on I-75. So we're heading down this West Coast highway across Michigan, wherever up north, somewhere by you. And we noticed there's a cop following us. We're doing the speed limit. Everything's cool. But there's this cop. Well, he ends up following us for like 8 miles before he finally dings us with his lights. And we pull over. And he said, listen, someone called that you were swerving over the line. And I've been following you for 8 miles and you haven't done that once. He says, what's your deal? And he points at me. I said, I'm sitting here. I was asleep. Because, you know, when I pulled this over, I'm waking up. He's like, well, you're the co-pilot, man. You're supposed to keep this guy going. And this kid was just too young to know the name John Sinclair. And it just was awesome. That was like one of the scariest moments in my life. You know, oh, you're going to get busted smoking weed with John Sinclair on the freeway in some little town out.
Damn,
that's really strange, man. He had no reason to pull you over.
Is that the place you're staying in right now?
Yeah, dog. That's it. That's the boarded up window.
They fucked your car up too.
Bro, don't you look like the boy got shot up?
It sure does.
Took out the
brand new Tesla, bro. Blew the camera on it. Yeah. That's an all glass roof, so like the whole entire the roof. It looks like it's just shot. It's done for.
That's horrible.
I'm sorry to laugh. That's just
it's
that's just fucking crazy,
dude. Yeah, like what?
Yeah, I had our new car in that exact parking spot just a few days before, so
literally
pretty
like
happy we missed that time. Yeah, the day before, so I'm glad we missed that timing, man.
That would have been 2 brand new cars.
Yeah.
I think we made 1 insurance payment on that Tesla.
Yeah, really?
Wow. I'm cashing out.
You can't time bad weather, you know, so.
Bro, what the fuck? Oh, man. Very excited. Is this the place? Yeah, yes, the bro boarded up window right there, bro. That's the inside view. Right, that shit was nuts. But you almost got busted with John Sinclair smoking weed, Adam.
Oh yeah, man, that was
yeah, man. He said so. Somebody calls and said you were swerving, but he follows you for 8 miles. You're not swerving, but then he pulls you over anyway.
Right.
What a dick.
That's what John Sinclair.
That's what John Sinclair said.
He's like, I might have been a little tired or something, but I'm doing fine, you know. Of course, he lit up a cigarette as soon as the guy got.
The trick. The only time I've liked cigarettes is when the cops behind us.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was crazy. And I had another experience with him where it was the other experience to me that was most crazy with weed was I was on the road working for National Normal on the Cypress Hill tour. And they were out with House of Pain and Funk Dubious. And this was 94, 95, whatever. And I used to get weed shipments in jars in 4-packed in a UPS or in a USPS box, and it was overnighted. And we're staying at the Renaissance Hotel in New York, which is like $400 or $500 a night for these rooms. And I'm the merch guy that's doing the normal stuff. So they're picking up they're adding me to every, I got my own room, everything. And the delivery was sent there and I got it. And I had to go sell some to Be Real. And I walk it. Now we're in the 47th story, 27th story, doesn't matter. But it's a real rich high-end hotel. I walk into his room. There's 3 pistols on the bed. I'm like, dude, what's going on? What are you afraid of? I mean, you're on tour. I get it. But you're in a $400 a night hotel room. Who are you expecting to come to the door? And then he got some super silver haze, and off we went on our merry tour.
That's wild, man.
That was crazy. That was just a whole crazy scene. I got pictures of Kate Hudson smoking weed when she was with Robinson in Amsterdam. But I'm not supposed to have those.
That's badass, man. Yeah.
Shit, man. You want to talk about some news stories? What news stories were you going to talk about, Adam?
Oh, I got a whole page full.
Oh, shit.
I read a bunch of shit I was reading, and I'm like, all right. First of all, there was an article that mentioned that Michigan cannabis industry employs more than 46,000 people, which I guess is a lot. But you can see that a lot of those people came from the caregiver market, and
I mean, you'd be surprised how many people came from out of state, also.
Right. And that's the rest of them. Everybody else is still growing weed at home. But also the state selected a person to run their new CRA lab that they're going to have. They're going to have a lab in order to test cannabis, just like we can take our weed to. And they're
going to use it to generate revenue with it. That they've been.
Oh, I'm not surprised. But the woman they picked is the state's longest time scientific manager. Does that mean she was running the show when the dirty cop was, getting people busted?
When Veritas was in charge of labs.
I don't know what the connection is for the that Michigan State Police labs. So well, no, I don't know for sure, but
this is a state lab that's part of the CRA. That
no, I know, but but the Michigan State Police lab is what the dudes who are now with Veritas used to.
Oh, right,
right. To.
Yeah, they got. So their issue was that he made a decision that stuff that wasn't weed, flower, was unknown, and because it was unknown, it was
a federal offense.
Well, this goes so you have the Carruthers decision that says the only thing that counts is leaf or flower against like the weights and stuff. If it's like concentrate. They would say, since we don't know for sure that it came from the plant, it could be synthetic. You're going to get charged with a felony, which is fucked up on its face, but that's kind of what was going on.
But the state followed him for a long time. That means, and my question is, was this woman a part of that? Was she the scientific manager at the time?
Obviously, she's been the scientific manager for a long time.
What
that sounds corrupt.
What's her name?
Right, Claire Patterson. She was the state's longest time scientific manager. She's going to run the new CRA lab. Now, my question is, how much weed has she smoked? Because now she's going to tell me that she knows more about weed than I do because she knows scientifically. Well, give me the study and let me read it, and I'll tell you if I agree or not. There's a lot of studies been put out there that we've disagreed with and shown exactly where they were wrong. I ain't afraid of the truth. Never have been. I got more news. High Times says the industry has 440,000 full-time workers. What? High Times. It doesn't really matter the source. Doesn't matter. But
is that what the people are telling them?
They say there's 440,000 full-time workers, which I just want to point out that doesn't include the black market that's going on. So there's at least as many, if not more, doing it against the law. So you got to understand a few of these things, because if you don't understand it, you're just going to move in the wrong direction. You know, there's a lot of people out there using this substance, whether it's legally, illegally, it doesn't matter. And they have been. Remember, most of the people, I would bet money that most of the people smoking weed now smoked it before it was legal. That won't be the case one day. You know? Just like the people that voted for adult use in California, they were never alive a day when medical marijuana wasn't legal in California. So you would think that, of course, they're going to vote yes, and they did. But what'd y'all do on 420? Because if you went to Dutchie's store, the point of sale system crashed. And they couldn't.
I heard a lot of places.
No, it's not Dutchie's store. It's a point of sale system.
Sorry.
And it was,
any of the stores that use Dutchie's products.
Using Dutchie, right? Yeah.
And they had to start writing everything down for the ones who could figure that out. Not every, but anyways, I just thought it was funny that here's
the third year in a row there's been some kind of glitch, but it was really big this year for them.
And I feel sorry for them as a company. But you know, I kind of laugh at the whole thing because it's not needed. Are you kidding? The guy doesn't. I know the law says you have to write it down if your system goes down. You shouldn't have to do anything. You shouldn't have to even remember you made the deal. It's weed. It's not even tomatoes. It won't hurt you if someone throws it at you. That's all I got.
Well, things are far from being that
depends on the
broad and liberal in approach to cannabis. It's still way too restrictive and prohibitive. So
it's treated like it's
treated like something it's not. You know, we need to get to like treating it as it is one of these days. Right. But you know, we're working toward that.
We just got to live long enough, and that one more generation to die off, and then everybody either smoked weed or knew people who did. That doesn't mean that they do it, but they understand it. They understand.
They accept it. Yeah, yeah.
Realize that the government was full of shit. Imagine that. 300 or 200. How many years old is the U.S. government? I know Detroit's 330 years. Whatever. The country's as old as it is, and we're just finally figuring some of this stuff out. I find that fascinating because it's more about weed, man. It's about prohibition in general. You know, you're going to tell somebody what they can put in their body? Really? Okay. No problem. Waste your time doing that. Still haven't fixed it.
And not only people got to worry about the DEA and all that shit, but now for several years, they've been like fucking the Border Patrol has been like confiscating all kinds of fucking weed on the border, especially in New Mexico. And the New Mexico governor hit up like one of the top Biden officials and like got offended when, you know, when he told her his response. And so basically, what did he say? It's like, oh, who cares? They make a lot of money.
Right.
But I guess there's like leaked fucking audio and all that shit. But it's crazy. Like fucking, and Biden's all posting all kinds of pro weed shit and just letting all this shit go on.
Well, because they're looking for that group of people, man. It's huge now. It's bigger than it was, so you might as well take.
And it's not even black market though. It's like, oh, it's supposed to be all legal and fucking.
Well, yeah, but he also knows
blah blah blah.
He also knows he gets the black market vote because there won't be enough people against it because it's wrong, not against it because they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hate to vote no on shit that I don't agree with, even though voting yes would move it forward. You know, but sometimes you got to do those things. Imagine if the CRA, it's not the CRA, the MRA, if they'd have got, what was the name of that group? The conservative guys that you're muted.
Like the MCMA?
MCMA, there you go. I mean,
all right. They disbanded and shit, didn't they? They went lurking in the shadows.
I'm sure they're all still giving each other reach arounds.
I don't know. Sucking each other up.
If groups like that had gotten what they wanted, you see the mess that has been created already. Just imagine what mess would have been with that. You know, I point out to people all the time, I go down to Florida, it's like True Leaf everywhere. And I don't go to those places. I take what I want with me.
True Leaf sucks.
Well, it's just listen, I don't know about their product, but their business model is awesome. You know, I mean, they just literally
represent the big corporate interests and using their resources and influence to advantage themselves at the cost of other people. In the way that, you know, we have fought against here in Michigan quite a bit, you know, and so I would say they're the worst nationally for that kind of stuff. They have success, I guess, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm just surprised that the state of Florida allows them what they allow them.
You can go there for examples of how fucked up they are, working with the governor, try to suppress like some of the hemp activity, you know, out of fear that it's competition to a massive, you know, grasp on, you know, the market there.
That's another thing that I had wherever it went because I put it down.
Loom too in Michigan.
Well, Loom is that example here, yeah. Here it is. So.
And no, True Leaf is indirectly in Michigan because it's partners with a Michigan company.
There was a study in Canada that said frequent use of marijuana doesn't make people lazy.
Yeah, amotivational syndrome isn't caused by cannabis.
Doesn't cause paranoia. They're from the University of Toronto in Ontario, Canada, south of us. But the big one that I saw, which I made some real good notes on, was the CEO of Chemical Analysis Lab in Jackson said that more than 30% of the vape pens and edibles his lab recently tested contained adulting agent, a synthetically converted cannabis oil, or pesticide. Some of which
those are really separate things. I mean, but both, yeah.
Those are separate things, but some of which are not allowed by the state. He also said the brands haven't disclosed that the substances are in their products. The diluting agent, MCT, medium chain triglycerides, MCT is derived from coconut oil. CBD is the synthetic that is being converted to THC. I want to say they are unsafe, but no one can say they are not safe. And that's Josh Switter from this lab. So, they're finding all this stuff. Now, I know where this is coming from. This is coming from places that can't sell it. It doesn't pass testing. They pack it in a box and they ship it. So to me, they just outed themselves as, the guys that do that. They out themselves to the lab that, yeah, I'm getting packs from somewhere where they're using this type of pesticide or, it's been regular for years, but the thickening agent, the diluting agent, that they found that's in vape pens, that just blows my mind that somebody would, they did this with cocaine. They'd take some pure and it would get stomped on, and it never made it across the border until it was stepped on, trust me. Yeah. And weed now, and they're talking about it. They're talking about THCA and oh wow, it's psychoactive. Well, we might want to ban it. We might want to control it. We might want to do this.
What the state said recently was that they're just going to consider THCA the same as THC, not right. There's kind of like a loophole-ish
not
type
the
thing that people
9,
have been using.
So they're saying it's not activated because
it doesn't have to be activated in order to count it. So that's what they're saying. Doesn't matter if it's got a percentage, it shows up as THCA. They're counting it as THC, and that's it.
So the trend in like all the states. What are you saying? What are you saying?
No, Michigan CRA put out a bulletin for that.
Right.
I'm pretty sure not too long ago. I could probably find it again, but yeah.
So they can just decide if a chemical is what it is.
So there are people that say that, because it hasn't been heated yet, it doesn't meet, it still could be considered hemp, until it's converted.
Just like,
because Delta 9 doesn't occur until it reaches 180 degrees. And
so they're saying
then chemically changes into Delta 9. Like it doesn't
exactly. So the CRA is saying, we're bypassing all that shit and just saying if it's got the, we're going to consider
that's
the
a crack of shit
because
there's going to be a difference of conversion on that. So like not.
Yeah, it's a couple percentage points, but
right.
It still couldn't consider it hemp for sure under those circumstances. That's all they want.
I always laugh at all this bullshit testing that they have going on.
I'll see if I can find.
It can have a 1 to 10% variance. Like what the fuck what kind of analyst holds it to a 10%? Like that's ridiculous. That they're asking me. I don't know.
It's not that accurate anyway for the way they collect it. I mean,
right.
It's a 50-pound batch. You take it from around the batch. You only test a little bit of it. It's just an average of taken from around the entire huge batch. I mean,
right.
And tell me the harms of the things they're finding, because people have been smoking weed for 8,000 years, and I guarantee you smoked some heavy metals in the past. They used to smoke pipes that would be the worst thing you'd ever want to do to yourself.
Dude, there's probably more heavy metals in the deodorant that they're wearing.
Right.
Well, I mean, bro, these motherfuckers are fucking throwing little tiny vape fucking cartridges filled with fucking distillate, and whoever knows, even if it's good, material in that cart, they're putting it on mods and fucking raising the temp up. And if it's not a totally ceramic fucking cart, they're all that fucking metal and everything's bleeding into what you're fucking inhaling, man. That's like, that ain't good, people.
That's where it's get wise. I mean, these cart things, man. You'll know if your friends are smoking shit they shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
that cheap metal, the oils and stuff, they cook off on them. That's not good. You know what I'm saying?
No,
that's basic science in the metal. That's crazy. But they're gonna blame it on weed, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's the trash. That's weed. It ain't the weed,
Like, nah, that shit's from the cheap ass China cart that they fucking put that shit in.
Someone trying to save a bug.
Tell me the harms of smoking that amount of heavy metals.
No, I don't know. I mean, continuously, and et cetera. There ain't no fucking studies when it comes to that shit.
But they don't even tell you what the harm is of smoking heavy metals. They don't tell you what the harm is What about the pesticides that the guy uses on the vegetables that you buy on his roadside stand?
All right. I mean,
that you may or may
They won't let us fucking know. They won't tell us publicly.
Now, he may take the risk of not getting busted because he knows the inspector never comes around.
Right. Yeah, if they regulated the food that they feed us like they did the weed, this country would be a lot healthier.
Sure would be.
You know what I'm saying?
For
That's
sure.
crazy.
Wouldn't be any McDonald's.
Definitely. No, straight up. Like I really want to get a fucking passport and like just go over to fucking Canada. It's like it's like 10 minutes away from my house. Like just go over there, fucking What are you coming over here for? I'm going to McDonald's, bro. It's been a while since I had like real McDonald's, man.
Yeah.
I bet
like
you
in
they'd let
Jamaica
me
and
right
shit,
through.
dude.
They'd let me right through. They'd be like, "Oh, all right, yeah, I understand."
I understand. Tell them the Coke's better over there.
Coca-Cola.
Got a little extra fizz, you know what I mean? Oh, that's hilarious.
Clovers in this motherfucker.
But no,
Man,
for real,
I didn't
like
see anybody in the chat let me know what they were smoking on. I don't know.
Anyway, I found the bulletin. Just realized I figured a part of it. Under state law, THC is defined to include THCA, and marijuana generally is defined as cannabis in any form with a THC concentration greater than 0.3%. Therefore, cannabis in any form with a concentration of THC, including THCA, greater than 0.3% is by definition marijuana.
Right. Now, the flower won't be more than 0.3% because that's hemp. But they're going to sprinkle it with all this.
Yeah, THCA. That's what they're doing in Pennsylvania.
Right. And it's
they were doing that shit here too, man.
Of course. I just think it's,
And then call it infused flower when it has like THCA sprinkled in some fucking shake bags.
Have you has anybody here had that?
No, but
I know somebody online who has. I know.
I smoked some shit that it was like one of those little like half joints that was infused but like reintroduced flavors and shit into it.
Jeters?
It was a jeter, and I started like my head started feeling different than what cannabis feels like.
They put essential oils on the fucking whack ass
sick,
flower.
Man. I started feeling nauseous.
Who the fuck knows what they use to coat it with the keef that they use?
It didn't seem to be just cannabis, put it that way. That could be one of the 30% shit that was flagged by the one company. I don't know, but
they put some chapstick on a fucking whack ass joint.
But
I don't want to say where they were, but you called it out, right? So it must be other people experiencing some concern. I mean, we don't know what it is, but there's something.
I heard. I don't put anybody's name out there, but I know somebody who works for a fucking dispensary, and like they know like exactly what they fucking do.
It's gross, man. It might not be just them either, but like that whole way of doing it is not cool.
No,
there's a surprising number of people who love that shit, though. I have to say, but that's the problem, So,
and there's so many like uneducated people that just keep on smoking them bitches because it's convenient. Oh, ain't they so cute in this little jar? Like, bruh, like it's so disheartening for me, man.
I don't touch those things, but my other thing is like Jamie, you take one hit off of it, you're not going to smoke anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't stop at one hit, so that's why I started getting nauseous. But I did stop before I finished it.
But you could tell right away that it wasn't quite right.
Yeah, it was weird, but I smoke a lot of shit, so I just continued with it. But I never usually get that effect.
Yeah,
and it was not a cannabis feel.
Corey Roberts is smoking on some Larry OG times soap. Or soap, my bad, soap.
I wonder if it was some kind of herbal mix that they then added.
Maybe the synthetic reintroduction of aesthetic
Oh,
THC or something like that.
yeah, that's what gets you the high, but the base
Wait, I don't know. Yeah.
might have been some legal herb.
It was
What's
just a weird
going on with
feel.
that slushy rosin? What?
Didn't like it.
You didn't like slushy rosin?
Dude, that slushy rosin probably fire.
No, that's
I
what I'm
didn't. I didn't
saying,
like
man.
the joint with the artificial shit
Oh,
reintroduced
right,
into it.
yeah.
That
Oh, the
gave me
food grade
Yeah,
a
because
nauseous headache.
that's what I was like. I know you're not talking about the slush.
I am not talking about real cannabis, especially the shit that you guys would like. I probably wouldn't take much issue with it.
Buzz Swan smoking on RS11. Yeah,
Rainbow sherbet.
Thelonious smoking on Midnight OG. Ooh. I remember Michigan Turf Farms had this midnight, and it was like so deep purple, like everything about it was purple. It was insane. Stupid fire. What's one of
Man, I
your
want to start
all-time
seeing
favorite
people.
strains? All-time favorite strain? Well, not. I mean, it's a hard question, but when I say that, what comes to mind, Al?
Bubba Kush.
Bubba Kush.
Or like the OG 18. You know what I mean? Those things.
Yeah.
I know what I
Ever
had
a
for a
buck?
long time was that Holy Grail from DNA. Remember that? Ever heard of the Holy Grail?
Oh yeah.
I've heard about it. I never had it.
I think it was ChemDog crossed with OG 18.
There's a sour grape I used to be able to get back in the day. And the guy got that through. Turned up, he ended up being a bitch. So I just stopped fucking with him. And then there's this other dude that he grew this lung candy. You ever heard of lung candy? Everybody in the
Heard of
chat's
it,
like, "Oh my God, Berg, you talk about the lung candy." But bro, lung candy is strawberry diesel times strawberry cough. Strawberry cough is strawberry. Wait, did I get that right? Anyways, it's strawberry, diesel, bro. That shit's so fire, man. But the guy who was growing that turned into a fucking bitch too. Not only a bitch, he was a rat. So I ended up stop fucking with him, man. So
Rat bastards.
sometimes rats grow good weed too, I guess.
That make a great T-shirt. I don't know that anybody'd wear it, but it'd make a great shirt.
Right. I'm about to spark up this original Z. What's the closest lake to you guys out there in Gaylord?
Man, I think there's a lake like within every like 2 miles up there, something like that. Something
Oh
crazy
yeah,
like
for
that.
sure, man.
There's lakes everywhere. But Otsego Lake is probably one of the biggest little lake right there, you know what I'm saying? But
My
Otsego Lake, that's
my
crazy.
family's been going up to Hubbard Lake forever.
Okay.
Before I was born, my dad was going up there.
It's not Harbor Lake, it's over by Alpena.
Yeah, it's like southwest of Alpena.
Yeah.
Takes me like
yeah.
One of the Catapaloozas was out
like,
there.
Like half hour, 35 minutes to get to Alpena from South Shore.
That was the Catapalooza where John Sinclair and Boston George.
Yeah, that was fucking insane, bro. Like when I
Right.
had seen it, like pictures posted, I'm like, fucking, where is that, bro? And I see it was like Hubbard Lake. I'm like, no way. No fucking way. Wow. Shit,
Hey,
man.
John's been keeping that thing going.
Yes, he has.
Shit, man. How do people get a hold of you if they need to get a hold of you, man?
Get a hold of me. Hit me up on the Facebook, Instagram. You can just look me up on Gaylord, City of Gaylord. My public record, freedom of information. I'm an elected official, homie. Got my phone number, my email, and my address. I'm an easy person to find, but I'm everywhere. Well, yeah, definitely Facebook, probably easiest.
Hell yeah, the City of Gaylord.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Council member. I appreciate you joining us tonight, man. Taking time out of your schedule. Appreciate you, Jamie, for joining us.
Hey man, I heard Al was coming on. I wanted to come on and support him. He's got such a positive attitude after everything that's gone down, and he applies that to everything he does, including the meds, and it shows up. And it's really cool, man. So
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure he'll be on in the future too.
Absolutely. So, Berg, I learned this one thing in life, and it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that'll determine your altitude for success in life. And that shit right there, like, once you live it, learn it, and understand it, you can do anything. That's what I'm saying. Even locked up in jail, like some CEOs will come at you like child time, 6 a.m., waking you up. Witt. I said, my problem, living the dream. How you living? You know?
For sure, man. For sure.
You locked in a jail cell. I'm breathing, bro. We got another day. I got that. You didn't take that from me. You know what I mean? That's where you fucked up. I'm coming for you.
Right.
But yeah.
Shit, man. We always want to remind people to go out and get your medical marijuana card. One of those people you can do that through is Detroit Certification Center, y'all. You can get in with Detroit Cert Center on social media, as well as DetroitCertCenter.com. Or you can give them a call or text at 248-275-6707. Also, want to remind everybody about the Give Back event going on May 19th, y'all, 2 p.m., 7 p.m. I'm sure Chi-Town will be up in that motherfucker on the Hibachi Grill. Fun Food Express out front, cooking up some goodness, all kinds of awesome vendors, and it'll benefit the Capuchin Soup Kitchen as well as the First Step Women's Shelter. I think I got that right. But shout out to JSH Enterprises and stay tuned on Instagram, y'all. More info coming soon. And of course, man, if it wasn't for these awesome people, we wouldn't be here right now. Shout out to Native Made 313, Michigan Turf Farms, Nuggeduction Extracts, Tiki Madman, SOB Labs, and Tree Street Packaging. Boom. All right, y'all. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Monday, and thanks for joining us on Medical Mondays. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe if you haven't, and peace.